Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. That's my CBS March Madness music in the voice of a cat. Haha. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy St. Paddy's Day, representing my Irish heritage. Hi, Mom out there, if you're watching. So what we're going to do today is we are going to pick on all of the games. And just to let you know, I usually do pretty well at this. So we are going to rock this out this year. I'm not going to, drain it with too many words. Maybe just a little bit. But anyways, here we go. We're just going to get started right now. Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to start with the West region. I was putting these lines and I was like, you know what? We're not at ESPN or CBS. Let's just write down who you think is going to win. Right here, 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 so on and so forth. You get it, follow through. Okay, here we go. All right, so first off, we have Appalachian State, I think, is going to get past Norfolk State. Norfolk State, not Norfolk Steak. I'm sure they have steaks in Norfolk, Virginia. But anyways, Gonzaga versus Appalachian State. Who do you think we're going to take? We're taking Gonzaga, obviously. All right, so next we have Oklahoma against Missouri, old Big 12 rivals. Missouri, obviously, now in the SEC. It is my wife and her family representing out there. Got a bunch of, Mizzou alma maters in my extended family. So in this game, I think it's a very tough matchup. Mizzou's been inconsistent this year, but also has proven they beat Illinois. They beat Arkansas. They beat Alabama. They beat some of the best teams in the country. OU as well has beat some of the best teams in the country as well. But I think Missouri's playing slightly better than Oklahoma as of late. So I'm going to take the Missouri Tigers. Missouri. All right, Creighton versus UCSB, the Gauchos. Haha, love that name. Just based on that alone, Creighton's missing one of their best players, and UCSB is one of the best mid-majors in the country. 12-5 upset. UCSB. UCSB. If I can say that right. Virginia versus Ohio is next. The former defending champions from 2019, you remember this whole COVID boo, lame-o sauce pandemic started pretty much right around March Madness. They actually were just starting the major conference tournaments. I remember I was actually watching the Big East tournament, and it was St. John's was like beating Creighton, and at the half it was an 8-1 game, and then all of a sudden they're like pulling the players off the court. And that was the last time we actually saw a college basketball game up until about around Thanksgiving this year. Anyways, Virginia is dealing with some COVID stuff, but it sounds like they're going to be able to play. Knock on wood. You want the champions to be able to defend their title. I think their defense is way too good for the Bobcats. Sorry, Bobcats. We're taking Meet Virginia. USC, I'm saying Wichita State beats Drake. I'm sorry. Doop, 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 doop. Sorry, Drake. Not taking you. I'm taking Wichita State to defeat Drake in the first four. That means they go up against the USC Trojans. Evan Mobley is a beast. I am taking USC. Kansas also dealing with a little bit of a layoff from COVID. The Jayhawks. They're not like quite the same Jayhawks team that they usually are, but they were one of the hottest teams in the country before the layoff from COVID. This actually has upset written all over it, but I can't go there. But if there is a potential big upset, this is the one I could see: Eastern Washington over Kansas. But I'm going to take the Jayhawks, but barely. I could see this being actually a 1-2 score game, believe it or not. I'd say take the points in that game. Oregon versus VCU. I think the Ducks are just too athletic to deal with VCU, and also their guards are just ginormous. They're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". They're a pretty big team, even though they don't have any 7-2 guys on their team. So we're going to take the Ducks. Next, we have Iowa versus Grand Canyon Antelopes from Phoenix, AZ. Whoop, whoop, to all my people back at home in AZ. But this is going to be where you run in. One and done Grand Canyon. Enjoy to stay. Matt Garza's too good. We got to take the Hawkeyes, not the Iona, Iowa. All right. So next we have Gonzaga versus Missouri. I want to apologize to my wife and all of her family. I cannot take Missouri. Gonzaga's too good. Gonzaga and probably big in this game. All right, next we have UCSB versus Virginia. This is where I'm feeling Cinderella, aren't you? Aren't you feeling a little bit Cinderella? Aren't you feeling a little gaucho here? They can make the outside shots. I think they also might try to push the pace a little bit to try to not let Virginia's defense get set. I can see Virginia's offense struggling a little bit. They do struggle to score at times and are ripe for an upset. UCSB with the big upset over Virginia. Yeah, sorry, Cavaliers. This is where I see it ends. USC versus Kansas, as I said again, Evan Mobley and USC. I actually think that USC is playing better than Kansas right now. Actually, I take that back because Kansas has been playing well. But I think with the COVID layoff, I think that kind of throws Kansas off a little bit. I actually think USC wins this game. An all Pac-12 Sweet 16, right? No, that was too good. Their offense is way too good. I can honestly see this being like a 96-82 game. Take the over in Oregon, Iowa. It's going to be a lot of offense, a lot of points scored. It'll be a fun game to watch, but I think the Hawkeyes pull away in the second half. Sorry, Ducks. No quack for you. So now we're in the Sweet 16. We got Gonzaga versus the Gauchos. This could be one of the games where it's like, oh, look, UCSB's within 6 with 12 minutes left, and then all of a sudden Gonzaga wins by 25. That's what's probably going to happen. So we're going to take Gonzaga. All right, and on the bottom we have USC versus Iowa. Yeah, do I dare take the Trojans? Ooh. You know what? I think their size and athleticism. I think USC actually, and USC is a really good defensive team. I actually think the Trojans are going to surprise people and get to the Elite Eight against Gonzaga. And then in this game, Gonzaga versus USC. This is where USC's run comes to an end. I actually think Gonzaga probably rolls through this region. I think that, believe it or not, I think the game that might be close in the second half is UCSB because they make some three-pointers and kind of make everyone, including myself, like, oh, come on, Cinderella 12-1, and then Gonzaga blows them out late. I actually think USC might give Gonzaga a little bit of a game, but Gonzaga is just too good. I mean, they just, their offense is too good. Gonzaga pulls away late. Even though USC, I think, is game, I think Gonzaga pulls away late and advances to the Final Four. So, put that right there. Next, we're going to the East region. As you can see, I just said screw with the squiggly lines. As you can see, you can read what I'm writing right there, I think. I know my handwriting's not the most legible, but that's okay. Michigan versus Mount St. Mary's. I got Mount St. Mary's winning out of the first 4, and this is where their run comes to an end. The Michigan Wolverines advance. If this can stay put. All right. Apologies on the easel, everyone. Trying to get that fixed. All right. Don't judge me. All right. LSU versus the Bonnies. Man, I love the Bonnies. You know, look at the Bonnie. Look at the Bonnie. Haha, you get it? No, anyways. LSU is just way too athletic. They score too much. I'm going to take the Tigers. Colorado versus Georgetown. This has been a sexy 12-5 upset, but I actually think the experience of Colorado is going to come in big here. Sorry, Patrick Ewing. I know that you've had a lot of experience as a player. This is your first time being there as a coach. Tips up to Georgetown. I do think this will be a very competitive game, but I'm going to take the Buffaloes to advance. Florida State versus UNC Greensboro. UNC Greensboro probably is going to try to pick up the pace a little bit because Florida State's defense is awesome, but I think, honestly, this might be the 4-13 game that's over quickly. I'm taking the Seminoles to win. Florida State. BYU versus Sparty. I got Sparty beating UCLA in the first 4. It is kind of weird to see that matchup in the first 4 between two titans of college basketball. In this game, man, it's It's a tough one. Yeah, I'm going to take the Spartans. I can see them going on a little bit of a run here. I'm going to take Michigan State in a small upset over BYU, believe it or not. And even though I think that Vegas would actually make probably a lot of money because Michigan State is a very public team, if BYU did win this game, I could see this actually being a really close line. But I'm going to take Michigan State. I'm going to go with the public here and take the Sparties. Texas versus Abilene Christian. Yeah, Texas, of course. Yeah, it's the Longhorns. All right. UConn versus Maryland. This is going to be a good game. Stylistically, two kind of different teams. I'm going to take the Terrapins here. I think the Terrapins, they played a very brutal schedule this year, man. 16-13, but if you look at who they played anyone. If they're a good basketball team, Maryland probably played them this year. And I think that's going to keep them battle tested in the NCAA Tournament. Alabama, sorry, Pitino. You're not beating Alabama. But good to have you back in the tournament, Rick Pitino. I mean, I guess. I mean, I know that some people probably are like, Rick Pitino, he's got baggage, but he's a heck of a basketball coach. That's all I got to say. And probably will build something great in Iona. Before you know it, we forget people in like probably 3 years from now. He'll be the next coach at, I don't know, Arizona or whatever. He'll get another chance. Yeah, probably Arizona because they're keeping Sean Miller after all his baggage. So maybe they'll fire him and bring in Pitino. Anyways, that's a hot take right there. All right, so we're in the second round now. As you can see, really it's just Power 5 cities. Sorry, guys. No Cinderellas in the East region. Michigan versus LSU. Ooh, this is zesty. I'm doing it. LSU. I actually think Michigan has not been playing very well as of late. I think LSU is a dark horse in this tournament. I'm going to take the LSU Purple Tigers with the tiger eye in the middle of the court. Colorado versus Florida State. I'm taking the Seminoles here. Sorry, Buffs Nation. I cannot to get the advance here. Florida State. I just don't see Colorado scoring much. I could see Colorado scoring like 50 points in that game. Michigan State versus Texas. That's a tough one. I'm going to take Texas in this game. Texas is one of the hotter teams in the country right now. I think they keep it going into the NCAA tournament. The Maryland versus Bama. I could see this being a very close game. I think Maryland is actually a very pesky team, but I think Alabama, offensively, their ability to make the three-point shot, I got to take Bama to win. All right, Sweet 16 up top, LSU and Florida State. This is going to be a really good game. I can see this being, a great offensive team versus a great defensive team. I think Florida State, though, will lock down LSU. I think the game will be close, but I think Florida State will pull away in the end. Florida State. All right, Texas versus Bama. This is going to be fun. 3 versus 2. I'm going to take the Longhorns here. I think Texas athleticism and size is going to be too much for Alabama. And I think that Texas pulls away the Longhorns. Wait, that's like a double, right? Longhorn. It's like that, right? Exactly. All right, so Florida State versus Texas in the for a chance to go to the Final Four. I'm feeling Leonard Hamilton. He's been to the Elite Eight a whole ton. I think he's due this year. I think the Seminoles are going to make it to the Final Four this year. I think that Florida State is due, I think, to make a run. I know losing to Georgia Tech in the ACC Finals, people are probably thinking, they're right to be upset. I don't see it. I think Florida State will be battle-tested. I actually think these last 2 games are going to be very, very close. Let's just say Florida State beats Texas on a buzzer beater in overtime. This probably will be one of the more fun games in the whole NCAA tournament. 2 excellent teams. Two of probably the teams who are playing about as well as anyone in the country right now, too. So, Florida State and Gonzaga. I got a 1 and a 4 so far. All right. South region. Baylor versus Hartford. No point in talking too much about it. Let's take Baylor. All right, North Carolina versus the Wisconsin Badgers. I think that North Carolina wins. North Carolina just has way too much size and dominates the boards. Villanova versus Winthrop. This is another potential 12-5 upset. I don't see it. I mean, I know Villanova is missing Gillespie, the point guard, but I still think their experience in coaching, I think Villanova advances. If I can get this easel to work at all. Here we go. Okay. Villanova. All right. Purdue versus North Texas. North Texas, right? The mean green fighting machine. No, I'm going to take the choo-choo trains. They're pretty much playing a home game since the tournament is in Indiana. We're going to take Purdue. All right, Texas Tech versus Utah State. Woo! This one should be fun. I got to take Texas Tech, though. The Red Raiders have been just a phenomenal team in the tournament as of late. I mean, they've just been going on run after run after run. Went to the championship game last time they were in the tournament as a 3 seed and almost won. So I'm going to take the Red Raiders. You ready for my upset of the tournament? All right. Pick Suey, Arkansas, you know. Oh, man, they're a hot team. Kind of came out of nowhere. Well, guess what? They're going to get toothpicked by Colgate. Here we go. 14-6 upset. 14-3 upset. I'm so excited I can't even spell Colgate. Toothpaste, baby. Brush your teeth. Makes you have white, shiny teeth. Don't have to go to the dentist as much. Colgate. Anyways, down to the bottom. Florida Gators versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is probably playing about as poor as anyone. They've been kind of really struggling as of late. I got to take the Gators to beat Virginia Tech. Then Ohio State over Oral Roberts. Yeah, Ohio State. All right. Yeah, the Arkansas Colgate, that game's going to be fun. Like, I think Colgate might win that game like 98-90. There's going to be a lot of shots in that game. Even though I know Colgate's a good defensive team, but I think they can actually win a game with their shooting at Arkansas's pace. Anyways, to the second round, Baylor versus North Carolina. I think this is where Roy Williams and UNC's run comes to an end. This will probably be a popular pick in brackets because North Carolina's a public team. Don't go there. Baylor's really good. You got to take the Bears here. Got Bears. There are Bears in Texas, I think. Villanova versus Purdue. This is where not having Gillespie is going to hurt. Villanova take the Boilermakers, the choo-choo trains. Purdue's just too good. All right, this is where the toothpaste. This is where the plaque known as the Red Raiders, kind of takes over Colgate. Sorry, Colgate. It was fun while it lasted. Texas Tech advances. Florida versus Ohio State. This should be a good game, but Ohio State is playing some darn good basketball. It's hard to go against them right now. I'm going to take the Buckeyes here over Florida. All right, Baylor versus Purdue. Ooh, man. Take Purdue. They just always play. They're another team that just Purdue is a team you can trust in the tournament outside of when they lost to Little Rock and back in Denver about 5 years ago. But for the most part, Purdue is always a team. They always have tons of size, can shoot from outside. Like they just have very few weaknesses. This is where I think, and Baylor also has been struggling a little bit towards the end of the year. So I'm going to take Purdue here to win. Texas Tech versus Ohio State. Man, this Sweet 16 in the South is going to be fun actually because I think these are both going to be really good games, but I got to take the Buckeyes here. Buckeyes are playing some darn good basketball. Ohio State. And then Ohio State, I believe they beat Purdue recently. So we're going to take the Buckeyes to go to the Final Four over Purdue. This will be a good game, all Big Ten battle in Indiana. I'm sure these two teams will be like, I'm tired of being in Indiana. I want to go home. Well, Purdue was already home. Ohio State's not far from home. Columbus isn't far from Indiana. But I'm going to take the Ohio State Buckeyes, Brutus the Buckeye, to go to the Final Four. Beat Purdue, and what will probably be an awesome game. And people will probably be like, Big Ten, meh. Anyways, all right, so far I got a 4, a 1, and a 2. And lastly, we are in the Midwest region. Okay, so in the Midwest region, I'm going to take the Fighting Illini to beat Drexel. I don't think there's much debate there. Sorry, Dragons, but I cannot take you. I cannot take the Drexel Dragons, which actually is an awesome name. Drexel Dragons is awesome. Awesome name, but they're not beating Illinois. If you can understand that, that's Illinois, the state that the land that Lincoln built, or whatever they call it. Anyways, staying in Illinois, Loyola Chicago versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won the ACC tournament, but you know what? Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean, not Billie Jean, but Sister Jean. Loyola Chicago. All right, so Loyola Chicago, I think Loyola Chicago's in and out game. I think they'll win. A very fun game. I could see this game being very, very close and tightly contested. We got the Tennessee Volunteers versus the Oregon State Beavers. You gotta go with the Beavers here. They're Mr. Tinkle, Mr. Wayne Tinkle. His team is getting hot at the right time. Oregon State. I see the run continuing. Let's take Oregon State. You know what I'll say this year? Man, I love the 4 seeds because Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. They're I know, to shout out to Colin Cowherd, I was listening to a show the other day. He was saying that they're his dark horse of the tournament. I think it's probably Florida State, but Oklahoma State, like the 4 seeds, like all of them, except Virginia, and only because of Virginia's COVID situation, and I'm not feeling them that much. But the 4 seeds are pretty awesome this year. Hopefully none of them lose, because Oklahoma State is going to win over Liberty in a game. Liberty. San Diego State versus Syracuse, man, I love the Aztecs, but playing, like, teams outside of the ACC having to play against that zone. Like, Syracuse, there's a reason why Syracuse usually does well in the tourney, because that zone defense is a friggin' nightmare to play against if you're not used to it. So I'm taking the Orange to beat San Diego State. And I'm going to take West Virginia, not to meet Virginia, but West Virginia. I can't wait to West Virginia, yeah. Anyways, okay, so West Virginia advances. Clemson versus Rutgers. I think Rutgers is going to win this game. I think Rutgers is going to be super duper excited. They haven't been in a tournament in 30 years. I think that carries on here. I'm taking Rutgers over Clemson. And then Houston versus Cleveland State. Come on, man. Fox Slamma Jamma. Anyways, I know. I'm bringing back bad memories. Actually, it's great memories. You know, Houston having Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon back in the day, back in the 80s. So here we go in the second round. Illinois versus Loyola Chicago. Man, I want to pick Loyola Chicago, but I can't do it. I got to take the Illinois. And then Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State is going to be way too much for Oregon State. Okay. Syracuse versus West Virginia. Man. I'll say this, like West Virginia, Syracuse can beat the press. Like West Virginia is really going to struggle to score. So I'm actually going to take the Qs in this game. Like I think that Syracuse, I think this is going to be a friggin' ugly game though. Ugly game. There you go. Ugly game, but I'm going to take Syracuse in an ugly game. Rutgers versus Houston. Oh, man. I'm going to take Houston. Like, I want to take Rutgers, but you know what? I can't do it. Can't do it. Gotta take Houston. Then the Sweet 16, Illinois versus Oklahoma State. I'm gonna take the Cowboys. Like Oklahoma State. Like I really do think that just their athleticism, their ability to score. I do think Oklahoma State matches up well with Illinois, and this game is a coin flip to me. It could go either way. Syracuse versus Houston. I'm doing it. So my dark horse is the Orange. And Jim Boeheim, the Orange. Wait. Do I have an orange? I don't have an orange marker. Anyways, the Orange. Anyways, forget it. Looks like a donut. I'm going to take the Syracuse Orange. Four versus 11 in the Midwest. Man, if I get that right, somebody should give me some money. I'm going to take, anyways, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm taking 3 4 seeds in the Elite Eight, 2 in the Final Four. It's crazy that I like the 4 seeds more than the 1 seeds. Just expect some madness this year. I actually don't know if there's going to be any massive upsets, but I think there's going to be a lot of 4 seeds. I don't like the 5 seeds at all this year, but the 4 seeds are really tough. So Oklahoma State over Syracuse to go to the Final Four. So first matchup is Gonzaga versus, I think we have Florida State, right? Florida State. All right. This is where Gonzaga advances to the championship game. On that, I think Florida State's going to give, this will be a close game though. I think Florida State's going to give them the game. I think that Leonard Hamilton, who's an excellent college basketball coach, him and his Seminoles will be excited. It'll be an exciting time for, especially since their football team is not as good as it's been in the past. Like, they have at least a basketball team that's pretty darn good and not going anywhere. But I'm taking the Zags to go to the championship game on the other side. We have Ohio State versus Oklahoma State. It's kind of nice because I actually have, we're just doing this in real time. I have not, just let everybody know, I have not filled out a bracket. This is the first time I'm doing it. I'm just doing it in real time, evaluating the matchups. I'm going to take the Buckeyes, though, to beat Oklahoma State. I think that Ohio State has too much size inside, and also defensively is a fantastic team. So Gonzaga versus Ohio State is your championship game. Mr. Rob Schultz, you're going to appreciate it if you're watching this video. Just shout out to you in Colorado. Anyways, I'm taking the Zags to finally win it and be the first undefeated team since Indiana in 1976. Last undefeated team. Undefeated. No pressure, Gonzaga. No pressure, Gonzaga. Gonzaga Bulldogs. Gonzaga Bulldogs. Rawr, 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 rawr. Anyways, please like, subscribe. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. Go ahead and say, hey, your picks are terrible. Gonzaga is going to lose in the second round to the University of Oklahoma. Your bracket's going to be jacked up. This is what I got. Gonzaga. The Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Gonzaga Bulldogs. Gonzaga Bulldogs. Gonzaga Bulldogs. Anyways. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. I'm reaching for the camera.